since over here by the ocean. You know, we got very powerful ley lines in these areas. Uploading a video right now on TikTok talking about Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 68, and the Perry Stone's breakdown of that chapter. You know, and we're only gonna be here for a few minutes. I'm gonna try to do some. Well, I'm gonna be doing some videos on and off here, but I just wanted to go over this one section of Isaiah 14 because one of the brothers or sisters was asking me, made a comment asking what he thought, what did Perry Stone have to say about Isaiah 14. You know, but let's just take another beautiful look here. Our beautiful lays. It's going to be real quick right now. I want y'all to see how beautiful it is out here. Like I said, in Deuteronomy 28, it talks about how he's going to bring a country from far away to take us down. And that took place here in the Americas. And the fact that these guys don't even want to touch on these subjects lets you know that, like you said, it's very devious the way that they've worked all these whole things out, because the common Constantine Christians have no idea, you know, about how these people have deceived them. You know, it says they have deceived them, they on purpose, and it's like they get upset with us when we bring out another point of view. Right? When they get upset with us, is if somehow there's no way that their people could have lied to them about anything. You know, there's just no way that our pastors and our priests would have lied to us. Now, David made this video, because I had made a video a few days ago talking about how, well, Peter mentioned Paul, so therefore, I guess supposedly Peter said that his writings were scriptural, inspired, which I don't believe anymore. I don't believe that Peter said that, because Peter looked at Paul as an enemy, right? Peter looked at Paul as an enemy. He didn't think that what he was bringing out was necessarily the truth. So they were kind of going back and forth. So then if that's the case, then why would Peter vouch for Paul? You see what I'm saying? Why would Peter be vouching for Paul? Now, the people who wanted Paul to be pretty much considered like he was one of the apostles would be the church. You know, I said the church wanted Paul so that they can, because that's all they run to is Paul. All they run to is Paul. So why would Peter vouch for Paul? You see what I'm saying? So it's like some things are not making sense. Make it make sense, because I said it's not making any sense. Now, the church would want Paul in there because that's how they said Paul was for the Gentiles. So they had to find some way to slither themselves in. So then go and say that, well, Peter says that Paul is canonical, that Paul is inspired. So therefore we got to put Paul in. So you really think that Peter would have said, hey man, don't listen to what I said, listen to what Paul says. You know, it says, don't listen to what I say, listen to what Paul says. Even though Paul, you know, is kind of going against many things I say, yeah, he's inspired. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, personally, if I got some person that's out here pretty much saying the opposite of everything I'm saying, I'm not going to vouch for that guy. I mean, that's just me. Because it was funny, because I just listened to a little bit of Dave's little response video, and he's like, well, Peter said that Paul was inspired, or, you know, or whatever else. But Paul never said that Clement was inspired. Oh, so now what we're saying is that Paul has been elevated to a position of the 12 apostles, and that we can go by what he says. And if he says that Clement is not inspired, then we're not going to put that in the scriptures. But see, how do we know that that's what he said or what he didn't say? You see what I'm saying? How can we know what Paul said or what he didn't say? Because I can't trust that you guys are telling me the truth, because you guys are lying about absolutely everything. You guys saw how easily, like in that last couple of videos I've done, how they just skipped over like Joel 3. They went to 2 and just skipped all that other information, right? So if you guys are going to just blatantly today skip like breakdowns of certain scriptures, then how can I believe that you guys back in the past weren't doing this exact same stuff? It says there's no truth in them. Most High said, Yahushua said, there's no truth in you other nations, right? That you guys, and it's very evident that you lie about everything. So I'm at the point where I don't believe much of anything you guys have told me in the past, and that you guys are very selective in what you guys want to talk about. Just like these breakdowns of all these scriptures that are like really important to us as a people. These scriptures are like very important to us Israelites, right? That prove who we are as a people, but you guys won't touch. You have the floor. You have the floor to break down all these scriptures, and you guys just keep on just taking mulligans when it's time to actually get down to the nitty gritty and actually prove who you are. Wait till you guys see the Deuteronomy 28 video. I'm uploading at this point on TikTok. Eventually, I will put it out over here as well. I said, but eventually you're going to be able to see. There's so many scriptures that we have really broken down and we've really gone into that these people don't even attempt to try. What'd you say? I said his breakdown of Deuteronomy 28, the whole chapter. So be on the lookout for that one later on today. But so it was just funny. Like, Peter says that Paul's scriptures are inspired, but Paul didn't say the Clement's scriptures. I was like, who the hell is Paul? Who elevated this dude to be in a position to tell us what's good and what's not? See, again, that's why you guys say that about Peter. So then you all can run to Paul, and now Paul is your authority on everything. Paul is now your authority on absolutely everything. Paul didn't say that Clement was good, so we're just going to stop it with whatever Paul says, because Clement went against what Paul was saying. He was talking about how we were going to be maimed in our understanding. We were going to lose our knowledge, and the Most High had to come back and bring us back. We were going to be a nothing, and the Most High had to bring us back into something. Like, we were non-existent to an existent. But see, that wasn't what Paul wanted to teach. So of course Paul's not going to say that Clement was good. But how do we know that Paul really didn't say that Clement was good? That Clement was inspired? How do we know that? Because the church says so? You see, you guys have no credibility whatsoever. You see what I'm saying? You guys have no credibility whatsoever. You use Paul to elevate yourselves above the Israelites. That's all that you guys have done. You see what I'm saying? And I know they're lying on Paul too. I know. And I said, you guys said that you guys translated. How do I know you guys translated stuff correctly? How do I know that you didn't say, all you had to do is say, Paul said that this was inspired. Oh, we don't want that. So we'll say Paul said this. He just won't say anything about it being inspired. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's like, how do we know that you guys are, we really made sure we translated everything correctly. I'm like, well, if today you're lying about absolutely everything, I'm going to show you guys some scripture right now. And you guys are lying about absolutely everything. I said, so if you guys are doing that today, how am I supposed to believe that when you were destroying us? Because during this time, you were going after the true Christians. You were going after the true Israelites. You were burning books. You were killing us for having books in our possessions. You're killing us for trying to follow our ways. Your whole inquisition is about killing us Israelites and disconnecting us from our power, right? So you were burning books that we had in our possession. There's no book of Enoch, no Jasher, no Jubilees. There's no Paul and Thecla. That was another book right there. There's no Apocalypse of Paul. You guys got rid of all these books. But I'm supposed to believe that somehow you were translating books correctly. You were translating books verbatim of what was said. That you had no agenda at all, right? You see what I'm saying? So it's like all you guys did was, you said you tried to give clout to Paul through Peter, and then you supposedly, and then from then you said, well, whatever Paul says goes. And if Paul didn't approve it, then it wasn't scripture. You see how ridiculous. That's when that guy Dave made that video. I only listened to the first couple of minutes. I skipped. I was like, so Peter, yeah, I'm gonna listen to what Peter says, because Peter was one of the 12. He was one of the apostles. He walked with Yahushua. I said, Paul did not. Just because he had a vision doesn't, and I don't know, man, did that vision really happen? Because you guys could be saying that kind of stuff just in order to give clout to Paul. I don't know. Because like I said, you guys have brought all this confusion into everything. So when you guys see the video of Deuteronomy 28, you should pretty much know these people are full of it. When you see the breakdown of Deuteronomy 28, there's 68 freaking verses to go through. I want you to show us how how Ish fits all these, how Ish fits those verses. There's 68 of them. Yeah, well, they fit the 1 through 15 right now. They fit the blessing right now. But show us when they hit the curses. Show us when they went through all the curses. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Assuming receipts, did they? Did I say I was an apostle? You know what I'm saying? But see, we go by their fruits, the Suman receipts, right? Your pastors look great, man. They look really good, man. They dress nice and everything else. But have they taught you anything? Have you learned anything? You see what I'm saying? They might have worn hats. How do you know? How do you know everything isn't flipped? How do we know everything isn't flipped? And they're telling us that you should not have your head covered, and you should. Because, like I said, they were trying to disconnect us from our power. So, yes, and that's the whole thing. They want to just deflect from the information. They'll deflect from their pastors. Their pastors look really good, man. They wear really nice suits and everything else. Have they taught you anything? Right? I said, have they taught you anything? Have you learned anything? Oh, why are you even here? Shouldn't you be over there on your pastor's channel? Listen to what they got to say. And what is that? True history, exactly. And see, and that's exactly it. But they're still here, though. Hey, man, if I'm doing it wrong and everything else, then why are these people even here? Why are they even here? See, that's it. Because they know that their pastors have lied about everything, and that's why they're over here. Right? And that's exactly it. That's why. Back to the real meat at hand. Let's go ahead and take a look at what did these pastors tell you about Deuteronomy 28? Have they told you guys anything? What are the receipts that your pastors and priests are bringing? Right? Right? Nothing. They're not bringing anything. So let's go ahead and take a quick look here. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of Isaiah 14. And most of these people, yeah, you don't have any, whatchamacallit too. You don't have any knowledge either. You, Mr. I don't have a pastor. But you're over here, though. I'm your daddy now, apparently, because you're over here, son. That's why it's funny how they come over here and they run their mouths, right? But you go to their channel and there'll be nothing there. They'll have nothing there. Always talking about that, right? Yeah, we're good with that. We're good now. And so that's exactly how it is now with these people. They want to come in, they want to say things, but of course we go to their channel and what do they have, people? Nothing. Exactly. Us Israelites are your daddy now. You better get used to it, because that's how it is. The Most High has raised us up, and now you're over here trying to cause confusion. There's no confusion over here, man, because nobody cares about what you guys have to say anymore. That's the whole thing. No one here cares about what they have to say. They're trying to keep themselves relevant, right? But your daddy and your mamas are over here, and that's why you're over here trying to listen now. You're right, and try to cause confusion, and there's no confusion here. What you guys understand is that your people have already brought all the confusion. Right? I said your daddy has been running this world for thousands of years, and you know nothing. Your thing is, oh my God, you have a hat on. Okay, and your point, right? Your point. How do we know that everything that we've been told is not the opposite of everything? The Most High sends the Spirit unto whoever He wants to send a Spirit to, right? And these pastors and priests that they've had, hey man, your pastors and priests have been running things the way that they say everything is supposed to be run, right? They've been in charge. They've been able to make all the decisions and everything else, right? And how's that worked out for you? How has that worked out for you exactly? You've had the opportunity to, I do even the Israelites, they don't cover their heads. They do this, they do that. They look the part. They do, I'm following all the laws. I'm doing everything right. But then they still stuck on 66 books only or 80 books only. They don't read other books. They don't get into other information. So they're doing everything the right way, supposedly. I said, but is the Most High blessing them and raising them up to bring out this information right now? You see what I'm saying? It's like, that stuff doesn't matter at this point. Who the Spirit is put on at this point is all that matters. But see, that's what they have to do. They're the ones trying to deflect into, they don't want to talk about the information. And I always tell people all the time, well, before it was like, oh, we want to debate. Debate what? I said, go make your own videos on your own channel and see if the Most High blesses you. Right? Now, let's take a look at this real quick. Now we're done with the clowns. Isaiah 14, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them, and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them, and the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. Right? They shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And it shall come to pass, and the day of the Lord, that the day of the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve. Okay? All right? So let's see Perry's breakdown here at the bottom right here. This is why you guys who come on here, oh, what about your hat? What about your scriptures? What about your pastors? Oh, I don't have a pastor. Trust me, you do. Eventually, it'll all come out that you're a Constantine Christian, right? It always comes out that way, right? Isaiah 14, 1 through 8. When prophets gave warnings of desolation and coming destruction, the Lord then comforted his people by reminding them that he would have mercy in the future. Verses 2 and 3. So 1, he didn't even talk about. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. Oh, maybe that's because he says the Most High is going to set them, right, in their own land, and not the Balfour Declaration, not America, not Britain. But so we don't even talk about that. He reads verses 2 and 3, right? Because you guys have been saying that was all prophecy, that 1948 was all prophecy. But right here it says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob." You see? And he didn't even get into that, but let's continue. The rest promised in verse 3 will be complete during the peaceful 1,000-year reign of Christ. And that time the whole earth will be at rest. So you're just going to skip over all this other stuff? And true. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. And they shall rule over their oppressors. So when was Ish taken captive? Because here it says that Ish is going to be taking the other nations captives because they were the captives of the other nations. When did that happen to Ish? The rest promised in verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord, shall give thee rest from the sorrow, and from the fear, and from the hard bondage. I was like, what the hell does that have to do with what he just said? Right? Making no sense, right? So you can go back and check that out. When did you see that? 14, right? So, like I said, doesn't make any sense, does it? I said, that's how these people are. But they're going to talk about your hat. Not going to talk about the fact that their pastors have lied to them about everything. Not going to talk about any of that, right? We're going to talk about somebody's hat. You know why you talk about my hat? Because you have no substance whatsoever. You guys see how beautiful this is out here. So it's absolutely beautiful out here on our ley lines. Like I said, and all this is ours. And the Most High is working to give it all back to us. Yeah, so I'm saying, like, so you guys want to talk about clothing and what people are wearing and whatever else. I said, but you got nothing to say about your pastors lying to you, though. Got nothing to say about your pastors lying to you about absolutely everything, though. Right? So I want y'all to get a chance to just kind of take a look at that. Get a chance to see Isaiah 14. And these books here just give endless amounts of content. And this is just 1 or 2 books. Them trying to break down. This is them trying to break down our scriptures. And then you get people who are, these Constantine Christians who don't study, and they're going to try to come over here and talk. So yeah, you guys are funny. So like I said, I tell these guys, prove it wrong. Don't worry about what I wear. Don't worry about that. I says, prove it wrong. You see, maybe the Most High wants me to wear a hat so that you can talk about that, as opposed to and show your ass and show how stupid and dumb you are and how ignorant you are, because you won't talk about the information. Right? Before it was, oh, well, he's black, I don't need to listen to him. Because that's what white Jesus did. Oh, you black people, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're not allowed to have your own opinion, right? You're not allowed to You're not allowed to tell us anything. Jesus is white, I'm white, so therefore it means God only loves me because I'm white. That's the kind of stuff you guys have been pulling. That's what you guys have been pulling this whole time. This is exactly why you guys made Jesus white, so that you people at the end will not listen to someone that looks like me. Because, the white pastor can come in and tell you that today it's nighttime right now and you'll believe it. Oh yeah, man, it's a beautiful night right now. Because they've been lying to you guys about absolutely everything, and you don't question a damn thing they say. How many priests have been caught with little boys and little girls and you guys still go to the church? How many people have the Catholic Church been responsible for killing and you guys just ignore that? How many times has the church been caught stealing or now apologizing for all of these laws that, the dumb diverse doctrine of discovery? They can just say I'm sorry and that's it, but you guys don't say anything about that. You talk about my hat. You talk about my hat while your churches have been stealing all of this information, lying to you guys about absolutely everything. But hey, he's got a hat on. You see how ignorant you sound, right? And that's it. You guys, your churches have been responsible for killing billions of people worldwide for the last 2,000 years. They have been responsible for destroying you and us as a people for the last 500 plus years, since 1492. And you're going to talk about my hat, but you're going to say a damn thing about your church. And you're not going to say a damn thing about your pastors, your priests, your government, who's lied to you about everything. They've given you guys all of these fake proverbs, these names. Some Puerto Rican dudes on a channel on TikTok talking. I'm like, bro, you're just a rich port. You don't. That's all you are. You think that's your history? You're Puerto Rican. You're a rich port. That's all you are. And you love that. And he's gonna say, oh, your ancestors are Shaka Zulu. I said, and that's exactly my point. I said, see, you guys all have these racist thoughts in your guys' mind. You guys think that we're beneath you. You guys want to say that we're ham so bad and everything else. I said, you want us to be Shaka Zulu, to be our ancestor? That's cool, man. I said, and there it is. I said, that racism that's always been in you always comes out. But you'll be the first one to join to John 3:16. Jesus died for me. He loves us all, brother. We're all equal, brother. Shaka Zulu, that's your ancestor. That's all right, man. And that's it. And I said, I already know how you feel. I said, I'd feel that way too if I went to a Constantine Christian church that put up white Jesus, and you seem to think that the white man's the only person that has knowledge and understanding. And then when you get to a so-called black man now that's absolutely destroying all of your beliefs, and all you got to say is, you got a hat on. That there lets you know that you don't know shit, and that you can't come against this truth, and it's killing you. Because we're telling you that your blessing is done, and you're having such a hard time with that. And that Jacob is here. We rise once again. We're going back to the way things used to be, right? So you're looking at your daddy now. All of us, again, right? This is what the Hebrews used to look like before. We've always looked the same. I says, your daddies and your mamas are now being raised back up again. I said, and what are you going to do about it? Talk about my hat? Is that going to fix it? Would this information come out better if I didn't have a hat on? Would your destruction feel any better if I didn't wear my hat? Is that it? I said, because this is what your daddy looked like before. We are the people that ran everything before. We're about to run everything again. There's nothing you can do to stop it, because our Father has decreed it, and now you're having a hard time with it. You can keep it. Yeah, you can keep that ostrich head down at the bottom if you guys want, under the ground if you want to. I said, but we ran stuff before. We damn sure gonna run it again. All praises to the Most High. And you're having a hard time with it. Your destruction is here, right? The Most High, just like we talked about in Isaiah 14. You know, I said, the people who oppressed us are going to be oppressed. That's just the way that it is. There's no nice way to say it. You want me to do it like nicely by taking my hat off like I'm inside? Is that it? Would that make it better? Would that make these words go down much better? It says, you're going to the bottom. You are already at the bottom. Have you not noticed? You see all this information is coming out and there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can say about it. Right? Right? Like I said, so what does it matter what I wear? See, but that's the whole thing. You won't talk about this information though. You won't break down the Isaiah 14. And right now, you damn sure ain't gonna break down Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 68. And that's why they keep coming over here, right? Because I see Dave and I see the other guys, they go to their channel, they get like 100 views, 200 views, and nobody's paying attention to you. And what's fun is that you guys have had the floor for the last 2,000 years. You've had the floor. You've been able to say whatever you want, and no one has been able to say anything about you. No one's been able to come against you. Now the Most High has raised up His people again to tell you that all the stuff that you're bringing out is a bunch of bullshit, and you're having a hard time with it because you thought that somehow you were always going to be on top. You were never going to be on top. It was going to be for a certain amount of time. Wait till you see what Perry has to say about Genesis 15:13 and the 400-year prophecy. Wait till you guys see that. And like I said, if Perry Stone, I feel very confident. I already felt confident before because the Most High has been with me this whole time and the Holy Spirit's been with me the whole time. But it's even more evident. I have even more confidence now when I see someone like Perry Stone's breakdown of these scriptures, because I'm like, bro, if this is what he has to say about these scriptures, then what the hell does someone who doesn't even open the book or doesn't even have any understanding or doesn't really even study have to say? Judgment is here. Enjoy. Shalom.